Hey guys, this is Statton.
Welcome to another Heart to Heart with Statton. Before I begin, I would like to show you all this mount that I have that I won in a contest that was done by a guild I now belong to. I love this mount because not only does it look cool, but if you hold down on the X button while not moving, you get to swing back and forth on it, like what I'm doing right now. Whee! Anyways, now to get into today's video, I had something happened to me a few days ago that was a real inconvenience with some of the things that was happening. This is one of those. This is the time of year where everything's busy and everything is just happening, and for quite a few people, it can be one of the most stressful times of the year. Well, anyways, a few days ago, I was hoping to head home as fast as possible so that I could get some videos made because I've been really slacking on that. Well, anyways, we had to work over an hour that day, which I had no problem with. I mean, there's nothing wrong with working an extra hour over. So it was 7 p.m. by the time I got out. Well, around this time of year, it's very dark out. So when I approached my car, I didn't notice that anything was wrong at the time. So I got in, started it, and when I tried to pull out, it was moving funny. So I got out to see what was going on to find out that the tire on my front driver's side was flat. And I don't mean it was just low on air. I mean it was completely flat where the rim was almost touching the ground. Well, I called up some family members and they came over to help. And I went to the trunk where there's usually a compartment in the trunk where you can keep a donut. And I never had to use it before. Never been in this situation with this car. So I never thought to check this compartment. Well, when I opened it, I saw that there was no donut. Apparently, donuts don't come with this kind of vehicle. You have to go and get one. I didn't think about that at the time. Maybe that's common knowledge, but for me, it wasn't. Um, anyways, my nephew offered his donut from his car, and as a result, I mean, we tried to get it to fit, but it wouldn't fit. So it just seemed like a really bad night to where by the time I got home and showered and everything, it was already 9 p.m. We had to leave the car in the parking lot until my next day off where it could be taken care of. At first I was worried, but they said no, they'll allow it. So I was like, oh, okay. Uh, my nephew and my brother-in-law happen to work where I'm working. Well, right now, so we don't work in the same department, but we do work in the same place. So we don't always see each other, and we're also on different shifts at times. But anyways, um, but a few days went by, and we were gonna get it taken care of today. But it was going to be kind of a back and forth trip where at first we were going to go and take the flat tire off and take it to the nearest place to, to get tires. We're going to get 4 tires. Then we were going to bring the one good tire, over to get it replaced because, as it turns out, the reason I had a flat was because the tires were very old. So we were going to get that one tire replaced, and we were going to drive the car over to get the other 3 tires. That by doing that we wouldn't have to tow, and that would be a lot cheaper. Well, by the time we got there to the parking lot, I noticed something was off with the car. I saw that the tire didn't look as flat as it had the other day, and there looked like to be what appeared to be a piece of cardboard sticking out of the handle of the driver's side door. Well, shocked by this, I don't know I I don't know what it was, but something inside me told me that there was something written on the cardboard, even though I didn't couldn't see what was written on it or that there was anything written on it. So I went over to it, pulled it out from the handle, unfolded it, and what do you know? And it had a very short but uplifting message. The message said, I noticed that your vehicle has been here for the last couple of days and there's a flat. I hope this helps. Merry Christmas, with a smiley on it. That meant the world to me for multiple reasons. Not only was this an act of kindness, the person didn't have to do this. They took the time. This took time and money from them. Tires are not cheap, even if you're just getting one. They're not cheap at all. And yet this person spent their own money on a brand new tire. And not only did they spend the money on a brand new tire, but they took the time, they took their own spare time, without me knowing, to jack up the car, remove the flat tire, and put a brand new tire on, and write that letter. And what made it even more touching is the fact that the person didn't even sign this note. They didn't sign it. I have no idea who did it. I hope to find out who did it, because I want to be able to thank them properly. I don't know if they even know about my YouTube channel or not, so not a lot of people I work with know about it. There are a few, and the few that do know about it do in fact watch and are subscribed. I don't know if it was one of them or if it was someone else, so the odds of this person seeing this video is admittedly very low. But if they do see it, I want them to know how thankful I am. And even with that said, I just don't want to end it there. I want to figure out who did it. I'm going to try to figure out who did it. I'm going to try to find out. I don't know how. I don't even know where to begin. But I am going to let this person know one way or another just how thankful I truly am. When people do kind things like this, and the fact that they didn't sign the note means they aren't asking for anything in return. But I still would like to do something for them. I still want to show how thankful I am to them for what they did. And when just knowing that happened, and it happened where I work at, it goes to show there are kind people still in this world that are willing to go the extra mile, that are willing to do acts of kindness for one another. And the thing is when I'm at work, I'll listen to stories as I'm working. I got a little speaker attached to me, and it's attached close to my shoulder, to the jacket of the shoulder of my jacket. And I do that so that the volume is just loud enough where I can hear it, but nobody else has to. Because I know the things I'm interested in are things that not everybody's interested in. But sometimes, depending on my mood, I'll listen to songs, but I'll also listen to Reddit stories. And I've heard so many stories about Karens and people trying to do some of the most cruel and unkind things. And it's very discouraging to hear at times. But then you got something like this that happens, and not only does it happen, but you have these things that happen to you. You get these unfortunate events that happen, these inconvenient things, but then, out of nowhere, someone steps up in secret and does something kind for you. There are people out there that try to do nasty, horrible things, but there are also people in the world that'll do kind acts of love, and they'll do it in a sincere way. And that makes me happy. This year, I haven't really felt like I've just been in the spirit of Christmas or feeling the spirit of Christmas or anything, because as most of you know, my dad passed away last year, the day after Thanksgiving, and that really damaged the holidays for me, and I still feel it even today. Well, I just haven't been feeling it at all. I haven't really done any decorating or anything. To me, this just seems like a normal day. Now, I've heard people at work say, well, everyone's been actually feeling that way this year. This year, it just doesn't feel like Christmas or anything. And yeah, I've noticed that myself. When I go out into town, I notice that the houses aren't decorated as much. There's only a few that are decorated, and even then, they're not really decorated that much. So, for the most part, you'd go out there and you'd think this is a normal time of year. Well, this act of kindness today has kind of restored the spirit of Christmas for me. This act that seems so surprising, so good. This was no simple task. This took time, this took money, and the person, like I said, didn't want anything in return. That's the spirit of Christmas. Now, would he have done it any time of the year? Oh, I believe this person would. I don't know them, but I believe it would. I believe they would. They are... I'm so uplifted by it. And if there's one person out there that is willing to do all that, you can bet that there are others like them. And with that said, I will admit, I let what happened a few days ago, the flat tire, get me down a little bit. But if that didn't happen, I would never have witnessed this act of kindness. Like I said before, I listen to Reddit stories sometimes, so maybe I ought to stop listening to them. But the point is, when you hear all these negative things and have this positive things happen, it restores your faith in humanity. It shows that, yeah, there's evil in the world, but there's also good. We shouldn't let the negative things or the bad people of this world drown out the positive things and the good people in this world. And yes, there are, in fact, good people in this world. For the one that changed my tire, I don't know if you're watching this video, but if you are, thank you. And if you aren't, well, I will find you and I will thank you face to face. I'm hoping. I'm going to at least try to find you. That sounded creepy. I didn't mean that in a stalkerish way, which all of you know that. I hope all of you have a similar experience, that you receive acts of kindness, no matter what they are. If they are an act of kindness, recognize them. Recognize that as an act of kindness. And if you recognize it as an act of kindness, recognize that it was someone that did that for you. And that someone that did that for you and not asking anything in return. That's truly something right there. Anyways, that's the subject for today. This was even now I'm still trying to find the words because I'm just so uplifted, but I, as you know, I've been pausing a lot during this video. That's because I'm trying to get the words out, but it's like the words are all jumbled up because that's how taken off guard I am even at this very moment. Anyways, my name is Statton. Like, share, and subscribe. And you all have yourselves a wonderful day and a very Merry Christmas.